All right, we are going to work on a new project today, so we're just going to do a blank canvas because it's not going to be a decal for a shirt. It's just going to be for a teacher's board. This is for a teacher friend of mine. We're not going to have any icons, we're just working with text. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type out the text that she wants. I'm going to just make the font smaller so that way it'll fit, and then we'll play with sizing and see where we are. So this is for her standards boards. So what standard are we working on? Then we need another one that says, what does that mean? So she can write down for the students what it means in regular language. And then the third one is going to say, how do I know and understand? No. How do I know I learn? No. How can I prove I know? Okay. So now we have our three um, topics. We're going to need to make these fit in the space that she has available. We're also going to work with maybe a different font. This is the Cricut Sans, which is very legible, something that we want to make sure that we do have when we are working with student boards. We don't want any fancy lettering. So let's see what we have that's not in a sans, but is straightforward. There we go. Now we're official. Thing is, we want something that's a little bit fun, but easy to clean up and easy to read. Okay, this one has potential. Very standard letters. Very easy to see. Let's pick a second one and compare. I think this one is too thin, yeah, and some of the letters are out of proportion. Not good in a classroom setting. Well, this one's very typeface, very newspapery. Let's pick a third and compare. Where were we just at? Getting a little crazy here. You don't want all caps. That doesn't help with language understanding. This one mimics handwriting, but is still too silly. So we're going to take that one off. Let's look at these two. Excuse me. I don't like the question mark on this one. So we're going to go with the newspaper font because this looks like a number 2 on this one. We want this one that is more newspapery. So we're now going to apply that to this one. It's called Bar Yoche. Now that we know what we're working with, we can do that. Now they are all 3 in the same font. Now we can work with sizing. This is going to be printed on vinyl to cut out, and that vinyl is a 12-inch sheet, but the students need to be able to read this. So we're going to have to break up some of these words. Probably here. I don't know what's it called. Too far. Too far. There we go. You just want to take that out and make a new box that has it in it. Let's see, because we do want them to read it. 10 inches should be good. Let's see what that looks like on the paper. Let's make sure that we have the same here, not. So by lining up the letters that are the same, I can check the size. And we are good there. That fits within it. This one we're going to have to break up a lot more to make it fit. Let's give this a little bit more space for reading. We're probably going to have to take the word standard out completely, put it in its own text box. Notice that it keeps the font that we have chosen. So one thing to keep in mind when you're doing vinyl word projects is that you can mix them up as long as you remember what words you're doing. So this is going to be working on the question mark, just because experience has told me that I can probably get what are we together. That's too big, but again, I can line it up with something else to make sure that we are matching our sizes. Perfect. And that falls within the 12. Okay, now the only letter that we have the same here is this lowercase w to work with. So just take a little bit. There we go. Now it may yell at me about the question mark, so we may have to do something else. Okay, for the standard, we're going to take it and we're going to size compare it with here. Not too shabby. But it is too big. So some of these I may have to break the word up. Because it is definitely not going to like that. Okay. So I'm just going to hold that there for a moment while I work with this one. So this is going to be the word prove and the word I. And then this is going to be, we don't want that capitalized. No, it with a question mark. And we're going to come in here. We're going to not take out the whole thing. Move that back over here. It wants to take out the whole thing instead of the letters. That's fine. Have an I. Now we need to make this the same size, so let's just match. We have an O that matches. Okay, so this is the right size. Let's match this one. The OW matches perfect. This just needs to be a little bit bigger so the capital letters match. Perfect. Okay. The standard we are going to have to break up. So let's move this down some. Let's add this text box here. And we'll do the DRAB. Now, let's check our size. Perfect. This is within. This is within. Okay. This one, just so that way we know everything fits, we're going to go ahead and do the on with the question mark over here. I'm going to take it, I should go bigger, a little bit bigger. Perfect. We make that one fit here. And I'm going to take it off of that. Just so everything fits within the 12-inch, because my sheets are 12 by 12. Okay. So now I'm going to move this down to a 24, move this down, move this down, move this down. We are going to, oop, I made that too big. So now I have to find another O. to readjust. Guess what I want to do is I will move it sideways to make it fit. But we need them down here. Okay. Then from here, we will just going to click make. And save our project. We need to give it a title. This is Aisha's board. And here's where we can adjust to make sure that everything fits inside the boxes. I'm going to move some of it to make the reading easier. Okay, that's board 1. Got it. Board 2. I said we're just going to give ourselves some space just to make sure. And from there we're good. I can now click continue, print it out to cut it, and it's going to look amazing on her board.